What's good, everybody? You know what it is. I'm at the work. I'm at the job. It's getting cold, tired, out. What's good? What's good? What's good? Thought I'd jump on here right quick, give me some of my pre-thoughts before the pre-thoughts of the game, which goes down this Sunday in Dallas Stadium, Atlanta versus the Cowboys. What's going on? We're gonna do a video. Me and myself and Boss Cowboys gonna get a video in tomorrow. We're gonna do a video breakdown. Everything will be smooth. What's going on, everybody? Kid Roscoe, the lunatic. What's up with you? I got the email that you sent me, big dog. I appreciate you. But I just thought I'd jump on here right quick and just give my quick thoughts about the game, and we'll get more in detail about tomorrow when me and Boss Cowboys go live. But just some quick thoughts that I had. Number one, the Cowboys. What's good with you, Jim Laws? How you doing? Cowboys injury concerns. We talked about La'el Collins going on the IR for 3 games. We're wanting him to get back as soon as possible. But I made a video months ago and I was talking about the offensive line, and in particular Tyron Smith, Joe Looney, and Connor Williams. Those are the 3 of my concerns. No concerns with Tyron Smith of his ability, but the injury concerns as far as the back. If y'all remember, hey ho, the lunatic with a $2 holla. Appreciate you, appreciate the donation right now. But if you remember what I said, that when Jamal Adams was available, should we go ahead and would I do a straight up trade for Jamal Adams and Tyron Smith? I said yes. You see what Jamal Adams and his impact already did. You see they played the Atlanta Falcons and he was all over the field. He was an animal. Now, it's not easy to replace a left tackle, especially the stature of a Tyron Smith. He's a dog, he's an animal. But these injury concerns are every single year. It might be a game time decision. They said they're going to look on the waiver wire already. But it's rearing its ugly head again. Since the last 4 years, Tyron Smith has missed at least 3 games per season. And he's not getting any younger. And when you have a neck injury, it contributes to your back. Neck and back are connected. So I think the back issues connect with the neck issues. And I just feel like this is what it's going to be the rest of his career. So it's concerned with me going into this game. We had Terrence Steele out there in the Rams game. I'm still not, feeling good about him. I know he wasn't terrible. I called him Chaz Green Part 2, but maybe he wasn't that terrible. I looked at the tape, he wasn't that terrible, but a lot of plays, like I said, he still doesn't have a lot of strength in his lower body. He still doesn't have great technique, and he's still an undrafted rookie. And he's going against Pat McKinley against these Atlanta Falcons, and I guarantee you they're going to try to exploit that matchup. They watched the tape. I watched the tape. They're going to try to exploit it. We've seen that they have a good defensive front across the board. Dante Fowler Jr. is on the other side, and if a Tyron Smith is not playing, Brandon Knight or the Alex Wright, I believe they just signed off. Signed off the Bengals, I believe. I don't know if we're putting him in that early, but I feel better for Brandon Knight is in there if he's fully healthy. As I said before, Brandon Knight is not the most athletic guy, but he's got good size, good reach, good long reach, and he's a good technician as far as I've seen him. When he put him in there and the flow of the fire, he did pretty good in that Minnesota Jets game. I feel better with him in the lineup than a Terrence Steele. That's why I ultimately would love Tyron Smith to be healthy and Brandon Knight playing that right side. I would feel better about that. But going into this game, Amari Cooper has a little bruised heel again, but he says he's going to play. We'll see how that pans out. Jordan Lewis was a full participant in practice. You've seen Aldon Smith on the injury report with the tooth, but that's already something that he already had excused during the week, so that's not a concern. He'll be playing. But the biggest thing is Jordan Lewis will be back in the lineup. We're going to need him. They had 3 receivers that played this past week against them Seahawks. All 3 receivers, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Russell Gage, all had over at least 7 catches. Hey ho, the ninja, what's up with you, big dog? Yeah, that's my watchdog in there. He always telling him, get them likes up. I appreciate you, the ninja. Always get them likes up. Listen to my dog. But Jordan Lewis being back there is going to be good because they had 3 receivers all had over 100 yards. We're going to need Lewis. Anthony Brown was banged up a little bit. Anthony Brown, we know what he is. I just think he's a regular cornerback. So we're really going to have to need all hands on deck in that backfield secondary. But some things that I've kind of been focusing on is number one on defense for the Cowboys. Let's see. Number one, some of the big things for me for the Cowboys on offense. Everybody's been kind of bashing Kellen Moore. You know, we need a little bit more, let's say, flavor in the offense. And we haven't really been seeing that. And I will attest to that. You know, I don't want to throw Kellen Moore away just yet. But we will say that this was Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones basically saying, hey, Mike McCarthy, you can get rid of everybody else, but you're going to have to keep Kellen Moore because we believe in him. So Mike McCarthy, basically, that's probably maybe one of the stipulations that you got to keep Kellen Moore. So he's keeping him, but we know Mike McCarthy is a pretty good offensive play caller as well. And so what I want to see is, we talked about it, Kellen Moore seems to get real bland and boring on the road, and we'll see if there's more excitement, more pre-snap. We heard that motion doesn't like to be in this offense from Mike McCarthy from the past with Aaron Rodgers, but I don't believe that. I believe you got to have some kind of pre-snap motion. You got to have some kind of motioning going involved to get the defense not set on what you're trying to do. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of mixture. Oops, sorry about that. My phone ain't got my kickstand. Sorry about that. But hopefully we'll see a little bit more mixture in this lineup with Kellen Moore, because as I said last year, even when we had, what's up, Mr. Personality, how you doing? We ain't worried about them Eagles. Y'all about to catch this L against these Rams, the same team you was just talking about. They about to beat y'all. Y'all about to start 0-2, but I appreciate the donation anyway. But at the end of the day, just like I was talking about last year when we talked about on the late night hype, last year we had a top rated offense, number one rated type offense all last season, seemed like. But it was just boring. It just seemed like it wasn't an exciting offense. It didn't seem like we had a number one or a top offense because it just seemed so basic and regular. Now you come into the fold and it seems like it's the same type of thing. So hopefully there'll be some more creativity going on. Hey ho, what's up, Mr. Wright Antoine Myers? Yes, I agree with you. Can't be so conservative, and I'm gonna get to that. But it just seems like you have a top-rated offense, you have top-rated players, but it just seems like it's still kind of boring and basic. A lot of go routes, a lot of deep routes, got a lot of fly routes. It just seems like it needs to be a lot more slant, some bubble screens, some smokes, some good slant patterns. I mean, some things where Dak can get the ball out quick. I think we talked about it before. Getting the ball out quick. Shout out to you, John Jones, for the $2 donation. Shout out for everybody that's donated already as well. Appreciate you guys. The Lunatic, the Ninja, Mr. Antoine Wright Myers, and also John Jones. Appreciate the donations. But I feel like the biggest thing that the Cowboys have to do on offense is they need to have a quicker base offense. Just like we saw with Jared Goff with McVay. He saw that the offensive line wasn't that strong. He saw that the offensive line could have some issues with the defensive line of the Cowboys. Obviously didn't have it because they only got one sack from our linebacker, Alden Smith. But that's what he went into the game plan doing. Get the ball off quick to Jared Goff. This has to be a philosophy, in my opinion, of the Cowboys. 1, 2, 3, get it off quick. Let's get Dak in a rhythm. We've already seen it. We've seen it last year. We've seen it in prior times. And we've seen it even in college. And I'm going to bounce off this, what you were talking about, Mr. Wright. And Dak, when you drafted Dak Prescott out of the University of Mississippi State, why did you draft him? You didn't draft Dak Prescott out of the University of Mississippi State because he was a polished pocket passer. That's not why you drafted him. You didn't draft Dak Prescott in the 4th round because he was a pocket passer and he could sling the ball everywhere. You drafted Dak Prescott because he was athletic, he was a dual threat, he could run and use his legs, and it could catch the defense off guard because you have a dual threat quarterback. That was one of the reasons why you really liked him. And he had great leadership even at the time. He put the team on his back, but he could do multiple things. He wasn't a polished pocket passer or a thrower when he was in college, but he damn sure could run that ball. So we needed to see RPO. We've seen this offense when it's really good, when it's at a quick tempo pace, when you're using Dak Prescott in RPO, when he's actually faking the ball and actually taking it. Make him that dual threat that he was in college. You don't have to run him 25 times a game. You don't have to do that. But you do need to make him a threat. You see all these other quarterbacks that are athletic, We all talked about, like I said, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. I mean, even Aaron Rodgers runs. I mean, anybody who has any kind of legs, they're going to use that as an advantage to the offense. And that's one thing that they're not using with Dak Prescott. And I feel like it gets an easier beat on Dak and the offense of what we're going to do. So move people around, get Tony Pollard involved more than 5 snaps in a game. I understand you got a lot of weapons on the team, but this is a weapon that you need to use besides just a kick returner. Get some screen game. Atlanta's defense is acceptable to the screen game. They were doing it with the Seattle Seahawks. We got 2 really good backs that you can run the screen game really good in Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Get that screen game rolling. Get the dump pass going off really quick. What's up, Uncle Charles? How you doing, big dog? Love you, man. Get Dak in a rhythm. Like I said, quick. You don't have to run a no-huddle offense all game, but when you see the game is going quick and you see the Cowboys getting a rhythm, run with it. Don't stop it. Keep it going. Run with it. That's the biggest thing. Get this offense going. Get it exciting. We have too many weapons to only be dropping 17 points in a game. This team should be averaging close to about 25 to 26 points a game minimum with all the weapons that it has on the team. And the Cowboys have to utilize it. So Kevin Moore, he's got to open up this offense, draw more, not doing all these deep and fly routes. So where it's you're already in a shotgun, and Dak has to take, seems like 3, 4, 5 seconds to find a pass. Get that ball out quicker, and let's make some moves. I understand Blake Jarwin, that's going to be a big loss, him not being able to hit the seams. But if you lost to Blake Jarwin, that's when you play at Tony Pollard more, and that's an asset that you can use in that offense because he needs to get that ball more. Ezekiel Elliott, we know what he's going to do. We know we need to run that ball. Use these dual threat running backs. We just saw it last night with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, a 2-back system, that 2 backs that are really good. Use them both. Don't use one all the time. Use them both and get this offense at a quick pace. When you get that offense at a quick pace, it'll keep that defense on its heels and that front 4, because that front 4 gave Russell Wilson a lot of fits and pressure. 3 sacks, 10 hits, and he was in that first half running around, scrambling because they were putting a lot of pressure on him. We don't want to see Dak on his back all day with guys inexperienced at the tackles if Tyron Smith does not play in that game. That needs to happen. So that's something, in my opinion, that must work. Also, if we're looking on the defensive side of the ball, I think the word of the day to me is aggressive. I just don't feel like we were aggressive enough against the Rams. We didn't match the aggressiveness that the Rams had. I feel like they were very aggressive from the first snap of the ball. They came after us, and I just feel like we were just kind of sitting back, waiting to see what happened instead of just boom coming right at it. We were kind of reacting late. It just felt like the team was a step slow in that Rams game. Even when I had George Teague on, he just said it seemed like he was keeping everything kind of close to the vest. Mike McCarthy said the honeymoon was over. I think the honeymoon should have been over week 1 because you can't come out against any kind of team, no matter what it is, especially when you're a new staff, and say, well, we're not going to show this right now. We're just kind of going to do this. No, this got to be an all out. This can't be no honeymoon. This can't be no time because you ain't got no time for a honeymoon, dog. Everybody in Cowboys land is waiting for a difference. And if you're going to see the same type of thing that you saw last year, people are going to be frustrated, okay? And this, I'm not going to say it's a must-win, but it's a must-win. Because if you have a new staff and all new people, and we're talking about and singing the praises of this explosive offense, and you just got a defense, especially a front 4, that's very formidable, and yet you're still going and you lose this game to the Atlanta Falcons, yeah, that's when I'm going to start being a little bit more concerned now than I was from week 1. Because now you're going into a third matchup with the Seattle Seahawks who beat these Falcons, and that's not good. So it's not a must-win, but it's way up there in the parameter of this needs to be a W. Because you can't start out 0-2 on the gates. The statistics, if I can get that out, the statistics say more teams than not who start out 0-2 don't go to the playoffs, and it's a harder route to go. And the key is you're playing NFC teams. You have the Rams, who you just played in the NFC, the Seahawks, who you're going to be playing in the NFC, and the Atlanta Falcons, who are the NFC. That's 3 straight NFC teams. You must come out of here 2-1. You must come out of here 2-1 You must come out of here 2-1, starting out the gate before you hit the Cleveland Browns, who are the first AFC team you play. And then right after them, you go against the Giants. So you're talking about the first 4 out of 5 out of your 5 first games that are NFC games. 1 NFC East game, 3 NFC games. You have to go 2-1 in that NFC, and at least 1-0 in that NFC East. Just 1-0 to start in the NFC East. You can't start behind the 8 ball. So, Cowboys, look for the screen game, quick passing game. Use Dak's legs, RPO, let it be real. On the defensive side of the ball, more aggressiveness, attack the ball, attack the down. You got fronts up there, send more pressure, send more defense up there. So that's the one thing that you really got to do, in my opinion, is really set the tone on the defense with pressure and aggressiveness. I think a lot of time, like I said, it felt like that Cowboys were just kind of watching and seeing. Cowboys can't do that. You having a team and Matt Ryan who likes to chuck that ball up. They have a Todd Gurley. I think they're going to try to establish that run very quickly. So we have to get on top of that run immediately. Malcolm Brown didn't have a 100-yard game, but he had 80 yards, and a lot of the meat of his yards he was getting were up the middle. And that needs to be stopped and taken care of. We need to stop Gurley early on those running downs. And also, if they stopping him early, play action is going to come. Quick bootlegs will come. But more than anything, play action is going to come. Matt Ryan likes to look down the field for a Julio Jones. He was slicing and dicing it up the middle with Gage and Ridley. So we have to shut down this middle, put pressure up front. Those guys have to get there. Alden Smith, Griffin, Crawford, D-Law. Those guys have to get to Matt Ryan. They have to get him. If you put pressure on him, he is a statue. He will throw the ball and give it up. But if you let him sit back there and have time, Matt Ryan will pick you apart. We've seen it time and time again, having him high passing numbers. He will do that. So the Cowboys must put a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan. So this has to be an aggressive type scheme on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. Both ways, the Cowboys must be aggressive. They can't sit back and wait for things to happen. They have to make things happen. That's just kind of my thought pattern. That's what they have to do. We'll see if Brandon Carr plays in that game. I feel more comfortable with him in that back end than a Darian Thompson. As I said, Jordan Lewis will be in the game. That makes me feel better. Cheeto played pretty good in that Rams game. Need more from him. Diggs is going to be starting. I told you at the gate, Diggs needed to start because he's the type of player that he's not going to get better with on the bench. He's going to get better with experience. And let that man work, and he's going to just continue to get better and better. But I think those are the biggest keys with me. Starting fast. We started off behind the 8 ball, once again down 7-0, and then we had to play from behind. We did eventually catch up, but it's too bad. It's too much of a trend that I don't like seeing. A lot of times when Dak Prescott, when Dak and Zeke came in the league in 2016, one of the reasons why the team was really good was because we got early leads and played with the lead and didn't play from behind. This team needs to play with the lead, in my opinion, right now. We need to play with the lead and build some confidence on the team. Also, third down must be rectified. Cowboys were as a whole were 3 for 12 on third down. That has to stop. Needs to be effective in the red zone, but we cannot on third down be 3rd and 12, 4 and 14, 5 and 19. Those won't win games. Third down is majorly important. Also, time of possession. The Rams had almost 11 more minutes in time of possession than the Dallas Cowboys. That's not going to work. If you're getting only 25 minutes in time of possession, you need to score a lot of points then. You can't have 25 minutes of time possession having 17 points and keeping the defense on the field. So, must be get better on third down, win the game, time of possession game, turnover battle, start fast, quick offense, aggressive defense. Those are some keys that I got in my head, and I'll play Tony Pollard. So those are just kind of my thoughts. About to head back into work. Appreciate you for the donations. Let me see if I got anything here. Yes, I think it is going to be another close game. I think it's going to be a game where I think it's going to be a high-scoring game too. I think this game is going to be like a 35-31 game, in my opinion. Cowboys. I'm going to just go ahead and throw it out there. I think the Falcons are going to score points. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and hopefully Legatron comes in handy. But I think it'll be like a 35-31, a 28-24 type of game, and I feel like it's going to be a battle to the end. So Cowboys need to come through, because you can't start out 0-2 with the start of the season with a new staff. All hell's going to break loose in Cowboy land if the Dallas Cowboys start 0-2 this season with a new staff and Mike McCarthy. So please, Cowboys, bring it, figure it out. I'm a little concerned about this offensive line, but we'll talk more tomorrow. Me and Boss Cowboys will be doing our show tomorrow. We'll be doing film breakdown, upgraded my internet. Thank you, Boo Thing. We upgraded the internet. So hopefully everything will be good and we can watch some film, all 22 with me and Boss Cowboys, and go over some things that can get us this victory early Saturday afternoon. Thank you once again. Love all you guys for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and let's have a good in the chat. Great shows coming up next week. Great appearances I got lined up, so you're gonna want to miss. Not gonna want to miss it. So jump in tomorrow. Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James. I love you. We'll talk to you. Peace, and I'm out.